Whether hilarious, sexy, or just downright shocking, if not all three, these movie scenes were entirely responsible for these actors becoming the undeniable household names they now are. These scenes put them on everybody's radar and allowed their career to pick up considerable momentum in the years that followed, leading them to mighty box office success, worthier projects, and perhaps even Oscars. I'm Gareth from WhatCulture.com, and here are 8 movie actors who got famous off just one scene. Number 8. Matthew McConaughey, Dazed and Confused. Matthew McConaughey came to prominence after playing 20-something stoner David Wooderson in Richard Linklater's classic 1993 coming-of-age flick Dazed and Confused. The film opened the door for a multitude of young actors, including Ben Affleck, Milla Jovovich, Parker Posey, Adam Goldberg, Joey Lauren Adams, and Renee Zellweger, but none more successfully than McConaughey. It all comes down to a single scene, when David picks up his pals Pink and Mitch, and utters the instantly iconic one-liner, "Alright, alright, alright." In the years that followed, McConaughey cemented himself as an in-demand talent through his memorable performances in the likes of Lone Star, A Time to Kill, Contact, and Amistad. But in the near 3 decades since, the Dazed and Confused scene has remained McConaughey's signature, enough that he even recalled the catchphrase when accepting his Best Actor Oscar in 2014. Number 7. Cameron Diaz, The Mask. Cameron Diaz made her screen debut in 1994's Jim Carrey-led comedy The Mask, and her first scene in the movie left an indelible mark on just about everybody watching. Diaz, who plays gangster's moll Tina Carlisle, introduced herself to both viewers and Carey's protagonist Stanley Ipkiss in jaw-dropping fashion when she entered the bank where he works wearing that red dress. There's no denying that the scene is less about Diaz's acting chops than it is her beauty. But the inexperienced Diaz's charm offense throughout the rest of the film proves she had plenty more to offer beyond her dazzling looks. By the late 90s, Diaz had become one of the most bankable actresses in Hollywood and remained a consistent box office draw until retiring from acting in 2014, as she formally confirmed in 2018. Yet despite Diaz's countless high-profile and acclaimed roles over the 2 decades that followed, this is the scene her fans still remember her for above all others. Number 6. Brad Pitt, Thelma and Louise. Ridley Scott's iconic Oscar-winning road movie Thelma and Louise may have scored Best Actress Oscar nominations for both Susan Sarandon and Geena Davis, but just as many heads were turned by Brad Pitt's brief role as gorgeous drifter JD. Pitt's only in the film for around 7 or so minutes, but makes a deep impression, with audiences at the time left to wonder who this impossibly handsome young man was. But the scene that ensured he became an immediate Hollywood heartthrob, when he removes his shirt and flaunts his abs to Thelma while demonstrating how he commits robberies with the hairdryer, ahead of their unforgettable love scene. Almost 30 years on, Pitt can scarcely be said to look any less appealing when stood atop a roof shirtless in Quentin Tarantino's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. But his unassuming role as the effortless, charming hustler with ulterior motives in Thelma and Louise is what allowed him to become a veritable A-lister in subsequent years. Long may topless Brad Pitt reign. Number 5. Terry Crews, White Chicks. White Chicks may be a divisive movie if we're being polite, but its existence is justified for one single reason. It helped the world fall in love with Terry Crews. Crews had already appeared in a number of movies and TV shows in bit parts, but White Chicks forever immortalized him in pop culture for the hilarious scene where he sings along to Vanessa Carlton's pop classic 1,000 Miles. Crews' spirited performance, both singing enthusiastically and shaking his head to the instrumentation, is without question the funniest scene in the otherwise laugh-adverse film, and immediately put him on audiences' radars. Crews became a regular supporting player in comedy and action films for many years afterwards, until winning what would ultimately become his defining role in Terry Jeffords on Brooklyn Nine-Nine. But without his meme-worthy turn in White Chicks, there's no saying how his career might have gone. And don't tell me you've not mimicked it whenever that song burst onto the radio in the years since, you liar! Number 4. Salma Hayek, Desperado. Though it's tempting to list Salma Hayek's impossibly sexy dance scene in From Dusk Till Dawn as her single star-making scene, the truth is that she actually first turned heads the year prior in Robert Rodriguez's previous film Desperado. Hayek's Carolina is introduced to the audience in a manner both alluring and hilarious, her beauty proving distracting enough to cause a nasty car accident mere feet from where she's walking. The scene has since become a popular gif on social media, though Hayek herself admitted in recent years that she was actually terrified shooting the scene, in case the low-budget stunt went wrong. Though the 1-2 punch of Desperado and From Dusk Till Dawn ensured her sex symbol status throughout the back half of the 90s, Hayek also went on to become an acclaimed actress in her own right, receiving a Best Actress Oscar nomination for Frida in 2003. Number 3. Johnny Depp, A Nightmare on Elm Street. Johnny Depp scored the role of protagonist Nancy Thompson's dreamy boyfriend Glenn in A Nightmare on Elm Street by total accident. He was at the time a total unknown who accompanied his pal Jackie Earle Haley to the audition, only to win the part himself. And while the horror genre is littered with awkward early roles for A-list actors, Depp has nothing to be embarrassed about. Glenn is most fondly remembered by fans for his surreal, extremely gory death scene, where after falling asleep he is murdered by Freddy in his dream, sucked into his bed before his blood is shot out of it like a geyser. It remains one of the most iconic deaths in the history of the genre, and helped put Depp on the radar of casting agents all over Hollywood. His fame was cemented a few years later when he played the lead role of undercover cop Tom Hansen in the beloved TV show 21 Jump Street, after which his movie career quickly skyrocketed too. Had Depp not decided to tag along to Haley's audition, things could have worked out very differently for him. Number 2. Shannon Elizabeth, American Pie. American Pie made the careers of numerous actors who appeared in it. Jason Biggs, Sean William Scott, Alison Hannigan, Natasha Lyonne, and Tara Reid, to name just a few. That's not to forget Shannon Elizabeth, who made waves in the supporting role of Nadia, an exchange student from Czechoslovakia who quickly becomes the object of Jim's lust. Her most memorable scene is also the centerpiece of the entire movie, where Nadia comes over to Jim's house to study, and upon the urging of his pals, namely Stifler, he sets up a webcam to broadcast the shenanigans. Though Nadia does ultimately invite Jim to join her in stripping off, he strikes out in 2 separate bouts of premature climax, a feat witnessed by everyone in school when the video goes viral. What a nightmare. While Elizabeth herself admitted the scene likely couldn't be made today, it did nevertheless instantly establish her as a sex symbol of early 2000s Hollywood, after which she appeared in numerous high-profile comedies including Scary Movie, the second and fourth American Pie movies, and both Jay and Silent Bob films. Today, Elizabeth is more or less retired, instead devoted to animal rescue and conservation efforts around the globe. But to many, she'll always be Nadia first. Number 1. Christopher Mintz-Plasse, Superbad. Superbad is one of the most iconic comedies of the last 20 years. A film that penetrated the cultural consciousness with its crudely sweet depiction of codependent friendship and, yes, the old-timer character that is Fogel, aka McLovin. McLovin was immediately immortalized in the legendary scene where Fogel presents his fake ID in order to buy booze, where he's listed as a 25-year-old Hawaiian organ donor named only McLovin. The sheer absurdity of the ID, and how thoroughly it clashed with the fresh-faced dweeby Fogel, has allowed the character to live on as a genre icon in the near 15 years since. And though Christopher Mintz-Plasse has more than 50 movie and TV credits to his name since his Superbad debut, it's telling that the average person probably has no idea what his real name is, and will simply call him McLovin whenever he shows up in a movie, which must never get old. In a sense, the part has cast a huge shadow over everything he's appeared in since, though his recent role in Promising Young Woman as a man who attempts to take advantage of Carey Mulligan's protagonist, Cassie, ingeniously subverted his nice guy persona. Honestly though, the guy could win an Oscar and people would still probably be calling him McLovin. Soz Chris, mate. That's just the hand you've been dealt with. And that's our list. Know of any other actors who got famous off just one scene? Let us know all about them in the comments section right down below, and do not forget to like, share, and click on that subscribe button. Also, be sure to head on over to whatculture.com and find some more incredible articles just like the one this video right here is based on. I've been Gareth from whatculture.com. Thank you very much for watching, and I'm sure I'll see you very, very soon.